What's up guys, it's Roger, and today we're back with some more Trials of Osiris, and I got a belly full of orange chicken from Panda Express, which is my little reward for getting a beautiful flawless, as you can see here, as I do have the new Shayura's Wrath Adept, which is this weekend's Adept weapon. So if you guys want one of these to tickle your balls and smack your scrot, then you're gonna want to hop on and make sure you get flawless this weekend. It is multiplex as the map, which last time we had multiplex, I believe we had it one other time, I wasn't playing Destiny, so I got to avoid that. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I'll tell you right now, it's actually kind of fun. You're still going to see the same kind of crutch right now with like the Kvastovs and the speaker sight helmets, so just be prepared for that. Like everyone is still using those. So if you don't want to deal with that, maybe don't play until they get their nerfs, but yeah, if you do, then go ahead. And if you want a build that can help you get that nice little flawless, look no further because this is what I use right here. Now, we have our Prismatic Hunter, right? And there was one exotic called the Mask of Bacchus that I was so excited to use. And I used this on my first Hunter video when I used Prismatic a couple weeks ago, when the new season started. If you watched that video, then you saw I called that the Movement God build, because I had my grapple, I have blink, and I have Bacchus. We're not going to use grapple today, but we're still using Bacchus and blink, and you'll see some good plays with those throughout the gameplay. Now, what does Bacchus do? Well, it gives you a light shift. So instead of your dodge, you do this little stasis dodge that just kind of shifts you around. It's beautiful. You love to see it. And when you come out of that, you actually get ×4 damage boost to your stasis and arc weapons. Now, this was actually bugged last season and all before apparently, and Bungie just never said anything, and now they fixed it. So it actually is the ×4 damage buff in PvP now, and you can definitely tell that damage buff is on there. I started using this thing just like religiously now. I think this might be like my new go-to way to play the game. I kind of like this even more than my Blink Warlock nowadays. Like, it's just so much fun. What weapons am I pairing with this? Well, a few different ones. In this main slot up here, I was using only this Unending Tempest. Worked really well with it. You can enhance this thing, so go ahead and do that. I even slapped a Trials Memento on here because, hey, I went flawless, so I got a new one, so I had to use it on something, so it looks pretty sexy. I love the pairing of Perpetual Motion. Made this thing feel so solid, especially with 80 range, and then the Headstone on there, which is enhanced, gets even more stability. And Headstone is my favorite perk, well, one of my favorites at least, in Trials, because you can lock the enemy ghost inside of a Headstone, and they can't res it until they can take that out. Fun stuff right there. Over here for the arc weapons that I was buffing up, I was using the Darkest Before. If I was in a match where I saw the enemies were using longer range weapons, such as Red Death and kind of Kvastovs, I would switch to this Darkest Before. But besides that, I was using this closer range weapon of a Cantata. And we were even talking about this at my server a little bit earlier. Someone's like, I thought that thing was like cheeks now. Like, people use this and that. And it's like, yes, there's other guns that are better than the Cantata, but I like it. Simple as that. And when I like something, I use it. If I like your butt cheeks, I'm going to squeeze them like a fucking stress ball. You better believe it, baby. So that's what we're using today. I will say I'm using this Eager Edge Other Half Sword. This is usually my go-to like heavy weapon since I use it with Blink. I had it like 3 times today, and every single time the Eager Edge wasn't working in PvP. It wouldn't do any lunge, and it wouldn't track onto enemies. So let me guys know if you're having that same bug right now, but I think I'm going to take this off for the rest of the weekend because it was not working. Anyways, what do we have on our Prismatic here? Let's go ahead and cover this, and then we can get into the gameplay. Obviously, you do need to have a stasis super on if you want the Mask of Bacchus to work. So you can't run around with the new super or something and Mask of Bacchus, so keep that in mind. When it comes to your dodge, you want to use this one, the Marksman dodge, because it has the lowest cooldown of all of these. Again, also, if you do want to use Acrobat's dodge, sorry, you can't do that, Buster Pal. That'd be really cool if we could Bacchus dodge and get Radiant and get a boost from our Bacchus, but Bungie thought ahead on that, or at least they were too lazy to make it work like that, and you can't do it. So you do need to use one of these 2 dodges, and I recommend this Marksman's because it is the lowest cooldown. After that, like I said before, we do have Blink on. If you want to be a little freaky grasshopper dude, you can go ahead and do that, but it's not really my cup of tea, and it's not really my asshole full of frosted flakes, so we are using the Blink here today. Over here, obviously, these are the best in slot for both of these. On my first build, I did use Combination Blow. Some people helped me point out, by the way, that Combination Blow does refill your dodge if you're having Bacchus on, but you have to wait until the light shift is actually off of cooldown. So you'll see in the gameplay, every time I use my Bacchus dodge, you get a little thing on your screen that says light shift like cooldown, right? And you cannot start getting energy back into your dodge until that cooldown is done. So keep that in mind. If you do use Combination Blow, you can refill your dodge, but you need to wait until that cooldown wears off. So there's a little interaction there. That's how it works, but you can't go wrong with snare bombs right now. Smoke bombs are so freaking good. You just get people trapped in there. And if you use this right here, then you immediately get Radiant right when you get them stuck in that smoke bomb, and you can just spray them down. And if you Bacchus in on them, this is the favorite combo I was doing today. Throw the smoke bomb, they get stuck in it. Now they're weakened. Also, you're Radiant. Then you Bacchus dodge in, And then you have ×4 damage boost on your Unending Tempest, and you're also radiant because of this Facet of Dawn, and you just destroy people's bussy holes, let me tell you. After that, of course, we have these Scorch Swarm Nades on. You know, they're so good, damage over time, they track. You can't go wrong with it. If you want to go your grapple here, you can still do stuff like that. All these are fine options, except for really Magnate. I mean, that's kind of the goofiest one here, but you're going to want to go for the Swarm Nades right here. Obviously, the aspects, I do like the Winter Shroud and the Threaded Spectre, so that if you are close on somebody, like they rush you with a shotgun or something, you can just backwards dodge backwards, make a really good distance between you two, and you just slow them and left a Threaded Spectre so then you can kill them really easy. For the rest of our fragments, we have some pretty simple stuff. I like Facet of Honor, so when you do get a elemental pickup, or you destroy a tangle, you get some Transcendent Energy. Mostly, I do like that for the extra little strength there. This, if you ever can get someone to blow up from the actual Scorch here, you know, it'll be bigger. And then you do shatter stasis crystals, and it has a bigger area, right? And it does more damage, which works with the headstone on my SMG, so that's kind of like a fun little thing there. I really like this. It's one of my favorite fragments, I think, on Prismatic. Facet of Balance. I try to always run this, to be honest with you, because if you just get some multi-kills, you get a lot of extra energy back, which just helps you have your abilities up all the time. This one really good, especially if you're going to go shotgunning, because you can just go in there, be a little extra tanky, and do some nice punching like Mike Tyson. And then you can finish off with Facet of Blessing. You can never go wrong with this. If you do get those final blows with your melees, then you can just start immediately healing. And I think that is everything covered. Hopefully I did that in a good amount of time without wasting too much of yours. If you guys do enjoy the video at any point today, go ahead and leave me a like or subscribe. I very much appreciate that. We're trying to march on to 10K as quickly as we can, and I'd love to have you around in the community. If you want to talk to the community more and you want to talk to me more, you can always join the Blinkville Discord server. Remember, every single video I had that linked in the top right and in the description. Come in there, say hi to the community, talk to me, ask me questions about what I'm building, what I'm liking in the Crucible nowadays. I'd love to have a little chat with you. And if you do want to join the clan too, by the way, we have a few spots open. Blink Enthusiasts, it's set to open. Go to your Bungie.net or your Destiny 2 mobile app, and you can just type the name of the clan in and join. I'd love to see you in there. Oh, I am bringing back this sort of style of video right here where I do my actual commentary over the gameplay today. So if you guys want to see me keep doing this sort of style of video that I've done for years now, but I just haven't done it since I took my little Destiny break and came back this season. But if you guys like this style, which I know you do, but if you're still wanting to see more of it, leave me a comment and tell me. I'd really appreciate the feedback. Now, I think we're ready to get into this gameplay, so let's go ahead and blink on into it. You know, the last thing I expected to happen when I saw Multiplex was to, how do you say, like it? Not feel like I was getting my asshole stuffed with metaphorical fists of the enemies. But, you know, I actually did enjoy myself a little bit. I think part of that is because I love backers so much. I really do. It is like my new favorite playstyle. I always wanted to play with backers, but the thing is, y'all know I'm the Blink Master, you know I'm a Blink main, and if something doesn't have Blink as its movement ability, then I'm not going to use that subclass. I just do not enjoy it. I don't like Hunter jumping, I don't like Warlock floating, so it's just not in the cards for me. But they shuffled it a few fucking reverse cards into this Uno deck with Prismatic here, and your boy pulled one, and now I can actually Blink and backers together. It feels like forbidden fruit, as if I took the apple straight from Eve's disgusting little hands, and I chomped into it harder than that bitch ever could. And it's just so goddamn enjoyable. See, what you're gonna see in the gameplay is that you just need to know how to measure your aggression. If you're a player that knows how to measure your aggression well, then you can play a backer style so well. So like right here, what am I doing at first? I'm finding a good little spot for myself where I can take some peeks with my Cantata. And then when I saw an opportunity like that with a very close radar ping and the enemy stuck in the corner, I backers around that corner. I have my damage buff, and then I immediately smack them down with my SMG, use my blink to go over that wall, land on the next guy while I still have my buff from backers, and take him out as well. I believe the buff lasts around 10 seconds. Whenever I use it next, we'll make sure we look over to our left side of the screen, because that is where that stuff will show up. Actually, I think I might use it here. Let's see, yeah, there we go, yeah. So, there you go, yeah, 10 seconds, stasis weapon boost, and if I switch to my Cantata, it will say arc weapon boost, as you can see right there. And then above that, you see light shift. That's the red debuff right there. That's what I was talking about earlier. Until that wears off, you cannot actually start getting energy back into your dodge ability. I didn't know that the first time around when I was using this. It doesn't really specify that very well on the actual exotic description, and I've never really, you know, seen other people use this too much to where they describe that, so I didn't know that was an actual function of it, but I get it now. I know some people left some comments about that. Some people left comments about that and were actually respectful about it and then helped me learn about it. Other people were, well, you know, Destiny players. So I guess what I'm trying to say is fucking assholes. But the point is, I do know now, so thank you for everyone who was actually kind about that. So now I have some more knowledge there, which is always fun to acquire. But this is a very, very fun way to play if you want to have just a very aggressive style that you can really flourish with and take people by surprise quite well. Because like I'm saying, you can just use your regular hand cannon shots, you know, play at a range like this. But then when I saw the opportunity to get up on their side, I backwards in, I blink in, and now I'm just smacking both of them with my extra damage on my SMG. They're both stuck in headstone crystals, so even if they had a teammate left that could res them, well, he's got to break those first. And if I break them, they're going to do some extra shatter damage, be bigger radius because that one fragment I have on. Like, there's a really fun combo right there. And the thing is, it's great too. I had in one of my matches somebody in the chat, right, the team chat, which, by the way, I will say, I had just like really cool teammates all day. I had like one stinker teammate who at one point said some shit in chat, and he was like, "You guys, why do you get picked there? Don't get picked there." And I was like, "Brother, you didn't team shot with me, so the enemy shot me, and then I died." And he was like, "Freaky," yeah, you know, I mean, again, Destiny players, but. Had a lot of cool people in chat today, actually, which made me very happy because you don't usually see that, and I haven't solo queued in a long time now because I took that break from D2 last season before Final Shape came out because the game was just, how do you say unbearable? Unbearable, yeah, that's how you say it. And I couldn't stand it anymore. My pussy was just like drier than the Sahara, and I usually like when it's wetter than your mom's teeth. So I had to get out of there for a while. I took a little break, and when I came back, I wasn't doing these types of videos right here, because if you're new to the channel, maybe you haven't seen this format. This is my usual format for my build videos. I go in every weekend and I make a blink build video for my hunter and for my warlock, using different exotics, different guns, whatever I'm feeling that weekend, and I tell you my strategy kind of on this map, how I'm playing it, and show that off to you guys while I do some live commentary like this over the plays that I get for you guys as I'm going usually flawless, depending on, you know, if it can happen or not, which is what happened this time. But that's what I like to do. But I got a lot of cool players, I'll say that, and that's just my whole point here is there's actually some really cool people that I've found in a lot of my different games. You know, we're always just GGing each other, being like, oh, nice plays, talking to each other. So I really gotta appreciate that. That's always fun for me personally, and it can be pretty rare sometimes, but when it does happen, I really like it. Now, how else am I using this besides just a very aggressive play style? Mostly, I would say, for flanking. I'm a player, especially with Blink, and you're going to see like in this round right here particularly, or actually no, not this round, but I'll point out to you when I do that part of the map. But actually, this was a big flank round. You see I go around, I get a 3-tap on this guy. My teammate was over here with me, but my flank there was nice to get one pick on the board. I can backers in, get my weapon bonus damage, take some nice taps, 2-tap that guy, which helps my teammate take him out, and then we take out the last guy. And that's a big thing you're looking for with your blink always. No matter what your blink build is going to be, a lot of times you're using it to get good flanks, especially me as a player who is somebody that's looking for picks, that's looking for 1v1 duels if I can find them. I like to do that by going for big flanks with my blink, getting around the map before the enemies can really adjust to how I am pushing them, and then you can use your backrest to really enhance that playstyle even more and just take them out before they know what's happening. And once you have that pick, that's when you can really start playing it, getting your teammates to sort of funnel into that area of the map once you've taken control of it a little bit. And that is what I'm usually looking for, just at all, but especially with this backrest style on multiplex here, I was really, really liking that. You're going to see around this area right here, the area to the right of me, there's that little ledge part. Make sure you're using that. And again, once we get some clips here, we might have already passed a few. If there's a flag inside this area right here, that little area on the right, people just don't really think about it. And you can get some nice flanks there. I've been liking it all day. So if I see another play here come up, then I'll make sure I point that out for you guys. But there's some really nice spots about this map. And I think the thing is with these big maps, people get way too tunnel visioned on the few parts of the map that are being used and that are being really utilized by people depending on where the flag spawns. They go and they see, oh, it's an inside flag, right? It's on right there in alley. It's in that little corridor. So I'm only going to play around there. And they're going to play maybe 30 meters around that flag for the most part. And they're not going to see there's an entire section of the map. There's this whole back part. You can go all the way to their spawn if you want to with your blinks really quickly, flank back there, especially if you had like a grapple on or something, you could fly back there, get behind them, and take control of that space. And that's what you need to do. I feel like people just don't understand that, especially like, you know, newer players, lower skill players, whatever it may be. They just don't think about the fact that there's so much map and that you do need to actually go ahead and use it. This is a good clutch up right here. And this is another time where I'm saying I talked to my teammates because I went in and I was like, hey, you got supers right here, and he was like, have, and I was like, okay, cool, go ahead, try to bait your well because they have a Nova Bomb and get some orbs for your boy if you can. I'm throwing a smoke bomb on top of the flag right there so I can get them weakened, see if I can take some shots, maybe take one out. I use a backrest like that, and this was a very interesting clip that I wanted to show to you guys because I knew backrest could do some stuff like that, but I wasn't actually sure how until I did that on accident. And I'm definitely going to be looking for more stuff like that from now on. This is one of the parts of the backrest that I love so much. Like, I just flew off that rock, got such a crazy little angle, and they were like, why is this fucking hunter zooming up in the stratosphere? And I'm like, I'll be honest, I don't know either, brother, but I like it. Yeah, you're goddamn right, I like it. I'm flying around like a fucking Southwest plane up here, and unlike boning, I'm not having any fucking wings fall off or anything, so I'm feeling amazing, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely gonna look for more plays and angles like that on different maps. It seems as if it needs to be sort of a curved structure, like those rocks were there, and they can kind of launch you a bit. So I'm gonna look for more spots like that, but that was just a really cool play right there, and I was like, man, I gotta show y'all that. Obviously, that round ended up working, but it's just fun little things like that, and that's why another big reason why I actually like the backrest. Of course, enabling it with your blink, it doesn't always carry momentum as well as something else could, right? But into your blink, I should say, is what I mean by that. Like, it's not going to be a grapple where you're grappling and then you blink from the grapple and you get so much momentum and you're just zooming. And it doesn't need to be, is the thing, because really you're blinking into a backrest most of the time, blink around the enemies, and then backrest into them, and then you get that extra damage bonus on your weapons. Like, that is how you're actually enabling the backrest to work with your blink so well. It's not really like, ooh, I backrest and then it gave me a bunch of momentum and I was able to like jump at the end of it and boom, launch myself out of a blink. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work like that. Could it? I don't really think so for the most part, except for if you could really utilize it on like some geometry of the maps, which, you know, as I figure that out more, I'll show you guys some more plays in the future. But again, like you saw before when I bounced off that rock, you know, I launched myself off of it. It is possible, and we gotta remember the physics engine in D2, how do I say this kindly? It's older than my grandma, and she's fucking dead. So really, it's not always like the most functional thing. You know, you see plays happen and you're just kind of flabbergasted, for lack of a wider word, and that's okay. It's okay to be a little confused sometimes, as long as you get a sexy 3-tap like I'm about to do on this guy. Watch, he's gonna peek, and I'm gonna knock his little skull off right here. Little boom, boom, boom. Nice bow, stink boy. Immediately backrest forward, hit some nice shots with some extra damage on that guy. Teammate takes him out. I was honestly kind of confused that I was taking damage at first, because I was like, wait, teammate, you're sitting here and this guy's not shooting you? And teammate's like, yes, I'm in the corner, sir. I'm like, oh, okay, well, good for you, Anne Frank. But, you know, this is what I'm saying. Again, another round where I'm just taking a flank. I'm going on the left side of these guys, and I'm just hitting good damage, and we're just teaming. That was something I saw a good amount in my actual randoms. A lot of good people that were just teaming with me really well, and I really appreciate that. I will say, it wasn't an easy, like, one card flawless, in case you're wondering. Like, I didn't just do one card and immediately get flawless. No, I think my first card, I got to 5 wins, and then took too many L's and had to reset there. And then my next one was a 6-win reset, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then I had a few other ones where I couldn't get them started. And then the card that I finally went flawless on was another 6-winner, and I was out of mercies, and I was like, if this doesn't get flawless, I'm going to lose my freaking mind cap right now. So it better work out, or I don't know, you're gonna see a new kind of domestic terrorism in a second. But it did work out. I was able to focus up, and you can see like clips like this where I just had to kind of go balls to the wall mode, 1v3 really quick, and just clutch it up because I wanted the damn flawless, and I got it. Here's a round like I was talking about earlier. It's a little choppy, so apologies. It happens sometimes. Nothing's perfect when it comes to recording, unfortunately. But you can see what I mean. You can get on the side of people, and if you want to wait even longer, people don't really pay attention a lot of the times. They don't look at their radar as much because they're not expecting this part of the map to be utilized. I backrest into the wall right here so I can get my extra damage boost, and he just keeps peeking me, which I thought was so funny because he has this fucking speaker sight. Of course, heal, heal, heal. Guess what, buddy? You can only heal so much as you keep peeking into me when I'm actually hitting heads, and you're just like shooting Humpty Dumpty's ass crack. So you're gonna lose that trade. But that part of the map, is my point here, is just really good. Keep that part in mind, especially when you have that inside flag there, because you can just get up on the side of people and they don't see it coming, because it's a very odd angle. When you do push it though, I'll say be very careful, because if someone pushes you, especially if they have like a shotgun, they could fly on you really quick, you could get trapped there and you could get just smacked up. Especially if you don't have blink, be very careful. If you have blink, you can get off of that part of the map very easily. You can just blink away from cover to cover. If you're having to jump off of it, it's not as easy. So be very careful with that part of the map, but if you can make it happen, especially if you're on a blink class, then I would say to utilize that because it's a very good flank spot. Especially if you have like a good nade up, like this swarm nade, or a nice smoke bomb, then you can go crazy with it. So you can see here, we smack one guy, he's stuck in a headstone crystal, remember now, then I backrest in, more damage. Also since I backrest, it reloaded my gun, which is perfect, because the last bullet, I think, takes out that last guy at the very end there, and it's just like all these headstone crystals, all these kills, and it's just, that's the beautiful stuff right there, and that's what I'm saying. That's the backrest rounds that I really love, where I just feel like a god amongst man, where I'm just flying in, I can feel the extra damage doing its work there, and it's just so nice. Like, you got him stuck in a smoke bomb, and then you just get these headstone crystals going around. It just feels so good. And I gotta say too, I was getting my super a lot today. I'm still trying to get better with this super. I think this was a round where I came in, had some pretty good teammates too here. And again, I really wanted this freaking flawless, so I was trying my best to kind of play slow and play really smart. So I was looking for a pick on this guy. I knew my DR for my super would be enough to just go ahead and take out whoever I could, and luckily it was a guy that did not have a super on their team, since that just came up for them. I go Transcendent after I use my super there, just so I can get some extra damage. You do get like a 10%, I think it is, damage buff, so not the most in the world, but if you can combine that with your backrest, or even a weaken effect from your smoke, it can be even better. Now I needed to handle this guy, so I threw a nice smoke in there, and it was a very nice one, because you can see right there, it does hit 51 extra damage from my nade or something. Maybe it was my smoke bomb. And then I backrest in, get that extra damage buff, and just smack him up really quick, and I still had my Transcendence going too, so yeah, like I'm saying, you can stack those kind of damage buffs really, really well right there. So keep that stuff in mind. This build is very good for generating Transcendent energy, because you're using your primary, which is a darkness, of course being stasis type of weapon, very often. And then you're also using your light weapon very often, because that's going to be your longer range primary. But of course, you can mix it up and mix and match any weapons you want. And I tell you guys this all the time, when it comes to fragments and when it comes to weapons, go ahead and change them. Like, you don't have to just do exactly what I'm saying, obviously. These are just weapons that I enjoyed. What I had in my vault, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, that could work really well. So, you know, it's whatever you guys enjoy, go ahead and use. But you can see a good example of, like I said earlier, using that flank spot to go ahead and get behind these guys when it was the inside flag here, and they weren't expecting that. I just walk up behind them and I absolutely destroyed their bussy holes. They didn't expect it, and we get to win this because of that, right? I'm watching right here, I'm watching my super come up because he had golden gun, so I just hid, and boom, triple kill right there. Take out 2 with the actual silence and squall, and then I actually froze the other one while he was jumping, and so he plummeted off the map, probably the little goofy scream, you know, the one where he goes like, ah, you know the one I'm talking about. Yeah, I imagine he did that when I knocked him off the map. But it was very good right there. I got a little better at that super today because I haven't got to practice it too much. But I was running 5 int today, and I was just slaying out like really well in my matches to where I kept getting that super like at least 6 or 7 times today. So I got some good practice with it. So I feel much more comfortable on that super now, which is good because you do have to have it equipped if you want to play with the backer. So I need to, you know, get some more practice with it. This was a good round here. My teammates unfortunately got taken out, but I had a good flank at the beginning of the round. I was just kind of annoying the enemies, distracting them with my blink, holding fire here in case this kid peeks while I get my res, and unfortunately he did just immediately kill that teammate, and I was like, damn it, so I went for the other res if I could, had to heal really quickly. I was starting to play much more safe in terms of playing my recov. This is one of the biggest reasons why recov is the best stat in PvP. People obviously like things like their discipline so they can get their abilities back up, which I do run 100 recov and 100 discipline. Those are my 2 main stats that I focus, and then people like things like their resilience, of course, too, because there are a few resilience checks. It comes to anti-flinch, stuff like that. If you're somebody who really likes resilience, you can go for it. I honestly don't really care because I'm just going to go ahead and kill people. And if I don't, the resilience is not really going to be the biggest difference maker in my opinion, especially when I could have more ability regen in general instead. I'm just going to take that. That's how I play, but if you're a player who likes more to really focus on that resilience, you think it's honestly helping you, go ahead and use it. People like to argue and be like, you're wrong, I'm right. In my opinion, Destiny is so fickle and so personal to every single person's playstyle. So if you like running one stat more, if you really like that resilience, good for you. Like, if it's working for you, then it's working for you. But if something's working for somebody else, then it's working for somebody else. You feel me? So, you know, it's whatever you want to run on that, but I do like running the discipline there with the recov. And of course, this all started because I was saying why the recov is so good, because it's going to start your healing out of combat, of course, and you need to be able to get that health back as fast as possible so you can just get back in there and actually frag these enemies. Because if you're going in and you're ego challenging, which honestly I do a lot in my gameplay, I ego challenge a lot. It's a big part of my play style because people don't always expect it. You know, you get low and then suddenly you're ego challenging and you only have half health to begin with. They don't expect you to repeat a lot of the time, but if you had good enough shots, then you just take them out anyways. And that's part of my gameplay, to be honest with you. But that's not a gameplay style that I would recommend unless you have enough game time and you've worked on your shot enough, because if you're somebody who starts to ego challenge when you're like a day one blueberry, you know, and you could probably shoot yourself in the head faster than you could shoot Frank down the street, then that's not really going to help you out. So yeah, probably don't ego challenge too much if you're just starting out or something. But once you improve yourself a little bit, it's a very fun play style, especially with something like this backers where you can get those extra damage buffs and then still ego challenge with that kind of stuff. People don't expect that. And then that's why I do like having stuff like a little more strength and discipline, so you can always have those nades and whatnot to help you with those ego challenges. And it all just comes together very perfectly, and that's how I've always liked to play the game. And especially now, you can see, like, I wasn't full health there, but I backburst in, and then my recov kicked in. I take the one guy out, and I'm just sitting back with my weapon boost right here, and then he just runs at me like a freaking ape, because that's all these kids with conditional finality know how to do. They're like, ooh, me have conditional, me go ape mode, and it's like, cool, brother. How about I put your little Harambe looking cheeks back in the zoo? You wanna do that really quick? You can see what's so good right here. Again, we get radiant right when we put that smoke bomb on somebody, and he's stuck in it, he's slowed in it, he's weakened, so I can just come around the corner and actually slap his cheeks. And right there, that's what I was telling you earlier about the eager edge is like glitched out. That exact scenario happened to me like 3 or 4 different times today. I have never had a whiff like that. Eager Edge has some insane tracking. I've had scenarios where it always tracks, but then it does like the hit noise, you know, it registers as a hit and everything, but it just doesn't do the damage. That happens a lot. Sure, whatever. That's like latency, Bungie, voodoo magic, because they hate me, whatever. But I've been seeing today, it just won't lock. It's not locking on. If I'm way above them, if I'm literally touching them, whatever the scenario, it's every time today, for some reason the Eager Edge is whiffing. So I don't really know what's going on there, but I'm thinking that it might be bugged, which it wasn't last week. So if it is now, that sucks. I need to get something to infuse into just like a regular grenade launcher so I can not use the sword. But yeah, that was kind of bumming me out because I was like, seriously? Like, I just want to do my little blink Eager Edges, and it's just like, it just swings like a regular freaking sword. And I'm like, really? Freaking thanks. Take these guys out. This is a nice backwards play right there because I slowed that guy, and then you get the Threaded Spectre popped. Teammate had a nice freeze. Oof. And that was also the last round right there. You know, I was like, I told you, I want that freaking flawless. Your boy, I didn't even have to use my super or my transcendence there, but go ahead, blink straight into the lighthouse. You can see what loot I got if you're interested in the Shairas. Also, Osirian Ciphers. They're dropping 10 this week. You can see on the right side of the screen. Also, I got a new Sparrow again. You'll see that. The first week, they were dropping 10. And then the second week, they were dropping 1. And now they're dropping 10 again. They're supposed to drop 4. It's supposed to drop 4 every time you go flawless. For some reason, it's dropping 10, the full stack. I don't know why, but, well, I do know why. Bungie just doesn't know how to do their jobs. Anyways, you can see my Shires right there, and then you can see me deleting a Sparrow because I wanted to pick up the new Sparrow that I got. I was pretty excited about that. And keep in mind, these new Shiras are enhanceable. That's what I was kind of hovering over right there. So if you do get one, remember, you can enhance it now, which is pretty darn cool. It's going to be a very strong gun. Get ready in these next couple weeks, especially as other stuff like Kavastov gets nerfed. You're going to see a lot of these Shiras, I promise you that, because it's a very solid and strong gun, especially with the new perks. But hey, thank you guys for watching. Again, you want to leave me a like or subscribe. I very much appreciate that. But that is going to do it for me today. So as always, have a great day, Guardians.